Hello everyone, this is ACHAIA Akaya, and I've got another VOD here for you. This one is actually not a game that I played myself. A fellow gamer in the StarCraft 2 beta sent this to me, a guy by the name of Blaze here. He is the Red Terran, and as you can see, he's going for a little bit of an unorthodox plan here. He's lifting off, and I believe he's moving over to the high-yield minerals here. And wishing his opponent good luck, as is proper gaming etiquette in StarCraft 2. Anyways, his opponent here is the blue Zerg. He is Baldan, and I have not seen this replay yet, although I did read a little bit about it in a blog post that Blaze had put up on Starfeeder's website. So I kind of have an idea of how it goes, but I have not actually seen it played out yet. So hopefully it is as exciting as it reads. But as you can see, he is setting down his command center. He's already got these high yield minerals ready to go as soon as he lands, and he is basically going to try to get a kickstart on his economy. He loses a little bit of time mining at the beginning because he is busy trying to move his command center over to the high yield expansion, but if he can manage to stay alive for long enough, that advantage will kick in eventually, because obviously these are returning 10 minerals per return rather than the typical 5 that you see from the blue minerals. So these are actually very valuable. You don't see people moving to them as their primary base this early in the game typically, but it is a risky strategy that can pay off from time to time if you can catch the other player off guard. You do see that he's already putting down a barracks, so that is how quick the minerals come in when you have these patches. And you can see the blue Zerg player here is sending his Overlord down, trying to scout. This is a 2-player map, so both players will know where the other one is spawned because there is no variable here. In some of the 4-player maps that come up in 1v1 matches, you don't necessarily know where your opponent starts because there's 4 spawning points, you know where you start, and then there's 3 other possibilities for them to spawn. In this one, he knows where he is, and he's coming straight to his base. Immediately, you can see that he was initially going over to the ramp, but then noticed that there was no natural here, so he came over, no command center here, so he came over to scout it out and realizes that the command center is indeed missing. So he is on the hunt trying to figure out what's going on. I gotta imagine that his initial thought is that he expanded to the high yield minerals, because there's not really much point in picking off and lifting off to one of these other expansions here, because it's basically the same amount of minerals and gas that you see at your main base. So going back to the Terran player here, he's got another barracks going down in a refinery already, so we could see some tech from him as far as going for Marauders, maybe some stim pack here early on. And I don't see a factory coming down yet. He does have a little over 100 gas now, so that is an option if he wants to go for it. Both players a little bit high in minerals right now. And if we look at the unit count here, we've got 14 miners for the Terran player and 16 miners for the Zerg player. So the Terran player, as far as economy goes, has already caught up in the number of miners almost, now at 15. So the Zerg player really does not have that much of an advantage as far as economy goes. And we can also look at the income tab, which will show us that the Zerg player does have more gas because he's mining from both of his refineries, whereas the Terran player is currently only mining from one refinery. But the Terran player is out producing on minerals over the Zerg player right now, because the Zerg player has 6 of his 16 workers harvesting gas right now, which it looks like he is doing a quick tech. He may have just assumed that, and he is scouting it now with his drone, that the Terran player was going straight for these high yield minerals, since he noticed that his expansion, or his main base, was empty. Now we do see that the Terran player is going Marauders. Those are very, very good counters against roaches, which the Terran player cannot see into the Zerg player's base right now because he doesn't have any scouting units up there, but the Zerg player does not currently have roach tech. Since they're going for the lair already, I gotta imagine that they're going to be doing some kind of a Mutalisk rush or something like that, that would give them a little bit of an air rush, and especially now that he's gone and scouted the Terran player and seen that they've got Marauders. Marauders do not attack air, so Mutalisks would be a very good hard counter against what the Terran player has right now. You can also see that the Terran player is putting up another barracks, so they've got 3 racks now, and the Zerg player is still only working with a spawning pool and 1 hatchery. Now we do see a Spire starting to go up, so they are going to go for fast air here. The Zerg player does have not Mutalisks, these are Zerglings. Yeah, Mutalisks don't ride on the ground like that. Anyways, yeah, Zerglings blocking off his ramp here, and he's got an Overlord spotting in the air. And he is going to come around with 1 Zergling here and try to do a little more scouting on the Terran player. It looks like he's getting this Zelnaga Watchtower to let that do some of the scouting for him. That way he doesn't have to actually sacrifice the Zergling. And you can see that the Terran player is throwing down a few Marines here just in case there is some there is some air coming at him, which now that he has the orbital command, he may have actually scanned the Zerg player's base and seen that he has this spire building. So he may be aware of this. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and check that right now. Let's see. No, he does not. He has not scouted the Zerg player at all, so he is completely in the dark as to what the Zerg player is doing. He is moving out with the units that he does have right now, and he's going to see what he can do. There's not many Zerglings on the ramp, so this may actually do a significant amount of damage. You can also see that the Zerg player has not yet expanded, although he does have Mutalisks on the way right now, so not many Marines currently. There are 5 Marines in this army, and other than that, he's all Marauders, so not a whole lot in the way of Marines right now. He does have 1 more back at his base, and he has a reactor on this barrack, so I expect to see more Marines coming out of there soon. And here come the Mutalisks. He's got 6 Mutalisks out immediately, which with only 1 Marine defending his base currently should be pretty effective. But it does look like the Terran player is expanding down to what would have been their natural expansion had they stayed in their main base, although it's not too far from the high yield minerals that they did pick up early here. Oh, now going back into the base, it looks like the Terran player has already gone through the Zerglings that were at the entrance, and he is laying waste to the Zerg player's drones right now. Although he did lose all of his Marauders, his Marines were not enough to handle that Mutalisk force, so they were able to pick those Marauders off before there was too much damage done. Now the Zerg player does have enough money that I don't anticipate they'll have a whole lot of problems rebuilding their economy, and the Zerg player is now coming over to attack the Terran player, and they do not have any more Marines to defend against this. The red player is, Blaze, the red player, is sending his last few Marauders over to the Zerg player's base, trying to see if he can stem any more loss to his base here. He does have a few guys mining still, a lot of money here. He could make good use out of that money by building some more Marines, maybe trying to throw up some turrets. He does have an engineering bay now, so but it looks like the Baldan does see that those turrets are going up, so he's going to go ahead and try to stop those. And now the Zerg player is sending around his Zerglings, and the Terran player just doesn't have anything to stand up to this right now. A couple more Marines coming out, which might take out a Mutalisk. No, they get killed too quick because the Zerglings show up just in time. But as you can see, the Terran player is double expanding now. He's got a command center with a couple turrets going down and another barracks being built. He does have a decent amount of Marines over here and a mule, so he is still got a steady economy, and he is throwing up. And you see Baldan saying, "Nice try," mocking his Terran foe a little bit here, thinking that he's won the game. Little does he know, though, that the Terran player does still have 2 bases up, so the game's not quite over yet, although I would definitely say that the blue Zerg player, Baldan, does have a bit of an edge right now, since he is the one with a decent-sized army, and he still has his main base. Although he is a little bit shy on drones here. I don't know, and he is not producing anymore. This could be a problem if he doesn't find these other Terran bases right now. Blaze has 2 bases going up right now and still has a relatively strong economy. Though he doesn't have any gas coming in right now, he does have plenty of minerals. And to defend against these Mutalisks, the biggest thing he does need is minerals, so he can get up Marines and turrets, which he's got 3 at his base right now. And these Mutalisks are going to have to back down because they do not have enough firepower to take down that many turrets right now, especially with all the Zergs around to repair, with all the SCVs around. I don't know what a Zerd is, but apparently they can repair turrets. So anyways, going back to the original main that was the high yield mineral base here, the Zerg player Baldan has taken out most of the buildings. There is a refinery and a couple of attachments laying around here, which he is going to clean these up now. And the Zerg player has seen that the Terran player Blaze does have his command center up at the secondary base here, so he's going to clean that up. And it looks like he doesn't have any units as of right now to defend against these Zerglings, although he does have a planetary fortress. And the planetary